Boris Johnson says billions of pounds liberated by Brexit will help build 40 hospitals. He pledged that £3.7 billion of the windfall will go on the new health facilities, enabling them to be completed by 2030. Number 10 said, "The Prime Minister has promised to build back better, and that is exactly what we are doing. Leaving the EU will free up more money for the NHS and other public services." The insider described the hospital build as the biggest healthcare revamp for a generation. The costings were announced before today's crucial trade talks between Mr. Johnson and top Eurocrat Ursula von der Leyen. Mr. Johnson told Brussels yesterday that it was up to them to make the moves needed to get a deal over the line. He will stress to Ms. von der Leyen, who is the new president of the European Commission, that Britain simply wants to trade on similar terms to the ones the EU agreed to with Canada. Last night Mr. Johnson said there was every chance to get a deal but urged the bloc to be commonsensical. He told BBC Northern Ireland, "I hope that we get a deal, it's up to our friends. They've done a deal with Canada of a kind that we want, why shouldn't they do it with us? We're so near, we've been members for 45 years. It's all there, it's just up to them." The final official trade negotiations ended in Brussels yesterday without agreement. But the decision to hold extra talks today is being viewed as a sign that a deal is still possible. Mr. Johnson believes that all arrangements must be sorted out by the next summit of EU leaders, which starts on October 15. He fears leaving it any later may make it too difficult for businesses and individuals to adapt to rule changes that will come in once the transition period ends on December 31. A Downing Street spokesman said, "We have always said the middle of October is where we believe we would need to see a resolution to this, in order to make sure we have all the things we need to have in place for the end of the transition period. We continue to work towards a free trade agreement. That's what we want, that is what we will continue to work towards." He added that today's talks, being held via video link, will be a chance for both sides to take stock and agree to the next steps. Yesterday, chief negotiators Lord Frost and Michel Barnier met in the Belgian capital after their teams spent the week trying to make progress. Most of the major differences have been thrashed out except for the rows about fishing rights and state aid rules. The latter would bind the UK government's hands over support it gives to businesses.